You'll get the horns, then the butt. Because that's what goats do. 103.3, The Goat.
The rumors are true.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Dave Schultz and SportsChat are back.
I'm back, baby! I'm back!
One change, though.
I'm sorry, that deal's now off the table.
What?
We live in a different world than we did just 30 seconds ago.
Instead of waking you up, he's taking you home from work.
Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch? I'd like that.
Talking Cajuns, Tigers, Saints, all of it.
I am the father.
Buckle up, Acadiana.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
It's time for Sports Chat with Dave Schultz on 103.3 The Goat.
SportsChat is live from some Sunbelt Media Days on 103.3 The Goat. At Linden, we do have an echo, just to let you know. See if you can help us out with that. There you go. Problem solved. Thank you so much. We are live in New Orleans at Sunbelt Media Days, powered by Dwight Andrus Insurance, division of Hub International, and Lafayette Roofing. Dave Schultz here, Lyndon Burton there at our palatial studios of 103.3 The Goat on Bertrand Drive. We are jam-packed. In 40 minutes, we do get the head coach and the players of the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns. Mike Desimo will join us, but we will start off the show with Troy. They are the defending Sunbelt champions. We get the tight end, which I always love, Clayton Allendike from Cresco, Iowa. We're going to ask him how he found himself in central Alabama. And we got Reddy Stewart, cornerback from Decatur. That makes a little bit more sense. So, Clayton, how did you find your way to Alabama?
So, my football journey, I started out at Iowa Central Community College in Fort Dodge. I was there for a couple of years. It was during COVID, so our season got moved to the spring, and a junior college isn't exactly where you want to be during that time. No time was preferred, but so we played a spring season, and it was from March to May, and it was the beginning of May. I started to kind of gain some traction, and I was ready to make a decision and find a place just to get there before summertime. And it was a Monday. I got offered by Troy, and by Friday I committed, and on Monday I moved down. So within a week, I moved 15 hours away from home, kind of went on a gut instinct, and it ended up being a perfect fit, and the rest is history, I guess. But yeah, it's a little bit of a culture shock. The weather's a little hotter, but
I was going to say, what time of year was this exactly?
It was the summertime.
The summertime.
Yes.
So you went from 70 and no humidity to 95% and all humidity.
Correct. The first fall camp was a little brutal, but
got it.
The wintertime makes up for it, though. Beautiful all year round for the most part. So.
All right, so how do we get John Summerall to throw you the ball more often? Because tight end is obviously the most important position on the field.
They're definitely, it's evolving, and it's evolving.
Sounds like there has to be a little bit more convincing on your part. Clayton, you're going to have to step up a little bit.
Hey, and my position coach, Coach Mack, had done an excellent job recruiting. We kind of had a revamp, and our room is closer than it ever has been, and it's exciting. DeAndre Lewis is back, has been a playmaker for a lot of years, and we're working with Craddock, and we've taken leaps and bounds this summer and this spring ball, so it should be interesting. It's exciting.
And you guys had such a year. Only lost 2 ball games. One was the opening game against Ole Miss. The other one was on a Hail Mary. How much have we practiced Hail Mary defense here in the spring?
It's been learned from since that situation, obviously, but that's just one play that.
Those things happen. They happen at high school, college, pros. They happen.
Yeah, that's just one play. That it didn't go our way that day. So we learned from it though throughout the season. We had I think we had a couple more moments where teams had to throw Hail Marys and we were prepared for it. So we learned from that situation, and Well, yeah, we got better from that, that day.
So that's Reddy Stewart. He was 2021 All Sunbelt honorable mention, 2022 All Sunbelt first team corner. You stayed. You had a chance to leave. What made you stay when John Summerall came in to coach the Trojans?
Just his leadership, just everything that he's taught me since he's been here. You know, it's only been a year, but it's like I feel like I learned so much from him within this short span that he's been here. And just knowing that he brought in talent that I can play with and play around, and he brought in some real dogs that's going to be on that defense with us this year. So I enjoyed that a lot, and I'm looking forward to it.
Which dog is replacing Carlton Marshall, the all-time NCAA tackle leader?
Well, we got a couple dogs.
You need a couple of dogs to replace that, right?
Honestly, though, but, you know, just stepping up as a leader. Myself, I have to step up as a leader, you know, take that role, and just a few more guys are going to help me, like Dale Pettis. He's been there 5 years as well with me, and O'Shea Fletcher, been there a while. Keyshawn Swanson on the back end. So just all those guys, we're just going to come together and, you know, try to, do what Carlton and, KJ and those guys did.
We're here with Reddy Stewart, corner from Troy, and Clayton Allendike from Cresco, Iowa, from Troy as well. All right, did you guys win too much too soon? What's it going to be like going from the hunter to the hunted?
We're not looking at it as the hunted. We're just going to go out.
Yeah, but that's what you're going to be. Whether you look at it that way, that's what everybody else is going to look at it as.
We're just going to go out and attack. We just want to have that mentality like we got to go out and attack week in and week out and just focus on what we do best and what got us to where we were, and just keep it going.
All right, so Clayton, last year, the defense was outstanding, right? It was a 10-6 ball game against South Alabama that basically decided the division, if not the conference. South Alabama only had about 3 chances. One was an overthrow, one was a questionable drop, and one was, well, South Alabama would tell you, a brutal penalty. But other than that, you guys kind of controlled the game. How can you generate a little bit more offense to take that pressure off of the defense every single time?
Like I said before, year 2 with the same coordinator has been huge, and able to having a better understanding of what he's looking for, as well as kind of adding more stuff to our bag a little bit. We try to do more of a pro style offense last year that ended up getting kind of maybe a little confusing at times, and be quite honest with you, coaches know what they're talking about, and they have great game plans, and sometimes we do not always execute it the way they would like, truly. And
well, having said that, here's the problem with that idea. The other team's trying too, so they're preventing you from executing it, right? We'd like to think it's all about you, but, this is not golf, right? Yep. Someone's playing defense.
Exactly. Well, there's good coaches all around our league, and there's scholarship players all across our league, and we understand that, and that's part of the game. And we're really hoping to add more things to our bag, maybe changing up tempos and different things like that, and just really becoming more of a unit. That's a big thing. The chemistry just as a brotherhood in a unit will be huge for us.
Tell us more about Gunnar Watson, because he's back. Up and down season last year, came in and converted a huge third down against – hadn't played most of the game. Huge third down against South Alabama. Had a huge ball game against Coastal Carolina. Started the bowl game off awful and then made an incredible touchdown pass. Tell us how he has improved. And maybe things – it sounds bad, but maybe things have gotten more simple, and which makes it easier.
And once again, it's that second year with the same coordinator. I think that's huge. Him and Coach Craddock have been working together a lot. Gunnar's changed his body. I'll stand by that. He's the toughest dude on the team. He sits back there and takes hits, gets up play after play.
Well, you got a block player, Clayton. He should be taking hits. Come on.
We'll definitely take some of the blame, but he toughest dude on the team, and he's looking to have a really big year. I'm very confident in his abilities, and he's just been an unbelievable leader so far this year. So it's going to be exciting to watch.
All right, Reddy, have you surpassed your expectations? You've had quite the college career. Could you have expected any more?
No, I don't think I've even reached my potential yet, honestly. No. Yeah, I feel
just
like
a first team All-Sunbelt. I haven't reached my potential yet.
Yeah, I feel like I can always learn more. Like, I feel like, just being with Summerall in this second year, he's going to teach me so much, and just sticking with my position coach, Coach Pearson, just learning from him. He has a lot of experience. He used to be a defensive coordinator. So just learning the ins and out of the defense, just, where my help is coming from throughout the game and what I need to do to help my teammates make plays and stuff like that.
All right, did you win the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game? Who won that game when you played?
Mississippi won that game.
Oh, that's a big ball game down there. That's a big ball game.
It was fun, though. It was fun, honestly, yeah.
It is Reddy Stewart, a corner for Troy, and Clayton Allendike, tight end. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes,
Let's get the head coach in.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right. We are off and running. Thank you so much. All right. We are live on the radio, we hope. All right. We will take on now John Summerall, the head coach of the Troy Trojans, as he has won too much, too fast. He ends up winning a conference title in his first season. What do you do now? How do you improve on that?
I hadn't had a time to really even reflect on how you improve upon that. But, yeah, it was a fun year. I've had some buddies of mine in coaching say, you won too much too fast.
You ruined it for everybody else.
Well, and I'm like, hey, last time I checked, you win when you can win. You don't calculate, hey, we're going to be this good this year and this good next. No, I'm really excited about this year's team and just the direction of the program as a whole. And, this year's probably, like I said earlier, on the big stage, we probably have more unknowns. We're younger in a lot of spots. Doesn't mean we don't have some experience. We do. We've got some great experience in a lot of spots too. But this year's team has got a lot more question marks in regards to just some depth and who's going to step up in certain roles. And that's what makes it fun, is seeing guys grow. One
of those question marks has to be middle linebacker who's taken over for Carlton Marshall. I've heard it's a couple of different dogs from the guys.
Yeah, I don't know that one person can replace the Carlton Marshall, right? No. And then within that, too, I think some people at other positions have to help that linebacker group to allow them time to grow and develop and gel. Our front, I think, has a chance to be a strong group. So our D-line and our edge guys, I think, have a chance to be a good group. And then back-end-wise, those guys are proven. A lot of those guys have played a lot of football. Interior and inside linebacker, I think, Jordan Stringer and Terry Thomas played a lot of football in Carlton's absence during a few games last year, so they've gotten some experience. And you've got guys like Stephen Catledge and some other guys in that room. Jaden McDonald, who's played. Jaden hurt his knee last year against App State and missed the rest of the season. He's cleared to come back, so I think Jaden, his return will be fun to watch and just kind of see those guys continue to see who steps up and takes the lead there.
We're with the head coach, John Summerall of Troy, the defending Sun Belt champions. We're talking to your tight end about Gunnar Watson. He had a roller coaster type of season, some serious highs. Coming in and making a huge third down pass. I'm not sure he played most of the game against South Alabama, but basically secured the victory when Vidal did all the dirty work. And then, blowout win against Coastal Carolina. Struggled in the bowl game, but, recovered enough to make what looked to be like a perfect touchdown pass.
Yeah.
And so how has his progress gone so far, and what are you expecting out of him?
Yeah, Gunnar had some highs and lows last year. And some of those lows, he threw too many interceptions. A couple of those were receivers running the wrong route.
Right.
And it's like, well, the quarterback looks bad, but the receiver didn't run the right route. And then, you reference the UTSA game. Our O-line didn't play particularly well. And so it's hard to play quarterback when your O-line is when the pressure's getting to you real fast. So
I told Clayton he's got to do a better job blocking.
He's got to do a better job. Yeah, no,
step up.
But no, Gunner's had ups and downs his whole career. That's part of why you love him, is because he's been through the fire, and he's had adversity, and he's just never wavered. And he's ridiculously tough, and he has respect of his teammates. And so there's a lot that goes with that. Very proud of the progress Gunner's made really in two areas. One, his individual development has been unique and special this offseason. Since he returned in January from our break after the bowl game, he's committed himself to nutrition. His diet's changed a ton. His work habits in the weight room, and then his running has really come a long way in our off-season drills. Our mat drills, we call them the Gauntlet in February. We go early in the mornings on Wednesdays and Fridays. And Gauntlet was, during the Gauntlet, Gunnar was beating some other offensive skill players, like head-to-head, one-on-one. And then last week he ran 19.75 miles an hour on the GPS, which I've said to other people today, nobody's going to confuse him with Michael Vick. That's not going to – those comparisons aren't going to get made. And no, we're not evolving to a triple option offense because all of a sudden he's running a little bit better. But I do think he's got the ability to create some plays and extend some plays and maybe do some things with his feet that are a little bit better than what he's done in the past. It's not like he's going to be completely different, but I think there has been some growth there. And then the last part of that is, this is Gunner's team, and he knows it's his last year. And for the most part this spring of 22 is very different. Spring of 22, our defense just absolutely kicked our offense tail most days. Spring of 23, man, there was a lot more back and forth.
Wow.
And quite honestly, the first part of the spring, I would say the offense got the better end of the deal. Midpoint about practice 9, offense didn't have their best performance the first half of practice. And in a transition between 2 periods, after the offense wasn't performing up to their standard, Gunner called the whole offensive side of the ball up, and he kicked him in the teeth and let him have it. And so I think he's really invested in his own development, but also leading his team to do things the best they can.
Talking to John Summerall, the head coach of the Troy Trojans, coach of the year in the Sun Belt and Sun Belt defending champions. How do you evolve your offense from year 1 to year 2? Obviously, people are going to be looking back at the film. What did they do this year, and how do we stop them from last year?
Yeah, so really 2 things in my mind. One is every team has a different recipe for success, right? And our recipe last year won't be the same as this year. There might be some things we'd like to keep the same, but you have to adapt. And last year we knew run the ball, control the clock a little bit, chew it up.
I mean, you ran the ball sometimes just to flip the field. You're like, if we get like 2 or 3 first downs, we'll kick it away.
Without question. Without question. Yeah. There was times where I'm like, hey, guys, I don't need you to score in this drive. Now, we're going to be a little different this year. I'm going to ask more of the offense to be a little bit more productive and score more and do some things differently. That doesn't mean we're going to make excuses for the lost defensive production we have, but we will play the game, I think, at times in more open sets. And I think we will play the game at times offensively with a little bit bigger, a little bit faster tempo and pace. And so, last year we played a lot more condensed, squeeze, pinch set formations, looked kind of NFL-ish. We'll still do some of that, but I think we're going to probably be a little bit more multiple and do some things that will allow our offense to get the ball out in space a touch quicker.
You guys won some big games on the road last year, South Alabama and the Cajuns among them. When did you realize this team is kind of special?
There was a lot of points, man. I share with everybody, the turning point was obviously after the App State game where we got our backs against the wall and we lost in a tough fashion. And the next week we come home and we play Marshall, who had just beaten Notre Dame. And we beat them 16-7, and see ourselves get themselves up off the mat and come compete and play at a high level was so encouraging. And then you look at Western Kentucky on the road was a big win. That was a hard-fought game. We beat them 34-27 at their place, and they're a really quality team. The Army game, we won 10-9 the week after Lafayette. We got down to Lafayette 17-0 and came storming back all in the fourth quarter, basically. The South game was a hard fought. There were so many of those games. The last game of the regular season, we go play Arkansas State to clinch the West, and we're down early in that game. We're not playing really good football, and then our guys just kept finding a way. They kept responding. They kept playing with great effort, and so there was a lot of points last year where I was like, these guys get it. These guys get it. They kept answering the bell, and that's all you ask as a coach is keep showing up. If you keep showing up, good things happen.
He's John Summerall, head coach of the Troy Trojans. Thanks for stopping by at Tuesday afternoon Sports Chat. We'll get you on the podcast probably before camp opens.
Cannot wait.
Something a little bit different. We will come back. We will have South Alabama, the head coach, Kane Womack, and his players. Carter Bradley could be the best quarterback in the conference. Back after this on a Tuesday afternoon Sports Chat on 103.3 The GOAT.
Eat Lafayette 2023 shines a year-round spotlight on Lafayette's locally owned and operated restaurants. And now through September 10th, you can find great Eat Lafayette deals offered by some of the participating restaurants. 103.3 The GOAT, Acadiana's best sports talk, is proud to be a sponsor of Eat Lafayette and the Digital Passport. Download the Eat Lafayette Digital Passport today so you can check in when you eat at a participating restaurant. Each check-in will enter you to win airfare and a trip for 2 to Savannah, Georgia, courtesy of Wings Travel. There's something for everyone's taste bud. Late lunches to fine dining, Italian to soul food, when you choose an Eat Lafayette restaurant. Just go to 1033thegoat.com and click on the Eat Lafayette link at the top of the page. Eat Lafayette from Lafayette Travel and sponsored in part by the best sports talk in Acadiana, 1033 The GOAT and 1033thegoat.com.
Hey, Mark. I just stopped in to say hello, and whoa, the phones are ringing off the hook. Safe to say business is going well?
Yeah, word of mouth kept us afloat after we opened. Then there was a bit of a lull, but it finally feels like we've been getting a steady flow of new customers over the past few months.
What have you been doing? It definitely looks like it's working.
Thanks. We needed to be able to be found where people are searching, and today that means being found online.
How'd you pull that off? Sounds pretty complicated.
No, it was easy. I went to townsquarelocal.com to see how many people are searching for my services in the area. Then the experts at Townsquare helped build my online presence, so my business could be found exactly when and where customers were looking.
That's amazing. Do you think they could help me too?
Absolutely. Go to townsquarelocal.com to find out.
Go to townsquarelocal.com for a local customer analysis that will show you how many customers are searching for your services online. It's quick and easy. Get your business found online by visiting townsquarelocal.com today.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Pardon us when we butt in with a little common sense. 103.3 The GOAT, the greatest sports talk of all time.
Well, all right.
Hey, Acadiana. Quick reminder, download the 103.3 The GOAT app. Of course, it's free, and the best part is you'll always be able to hear the best sports talk in Acadiana no matter where you are. You get SportsChat inside the huddle and live Ragin Cajun sports action. When you download the 103.3 The GOAT app, you'll receive notifications on upcoming show guests, breaking news, and updated sports stories. So download the 103.3 The GOAT app today and never be too far from the best sports talk in Acadiana. Dave Schultz back live at Sunbelt Media Days. Mike Desimo and the UL Ragin Cajuns coming up here in 20 minutes. But first, we have the coach of the South Alabama Jaguars, Kay Womack. 10 wins, Coach. Is that what you remember from last year, or is there a couple losses in there that, eat at your craw?
Yeah, I think the answer is yes to both those questions. We very proud of what we have accomplished in year 2 in our program, and certainly I think are moving in the right direction. But I think everybody in our program is well aware, that there were some opportunities that we left out there and some things that we've got to be able to do moving forward if we want to, strive to become better versions of ourselves than where we were a year ago. So got a lot of great experience, but at the same time, you want to make sure, that you're kind of addressing some of those issues and adversities that you put on the field last year.
On the others, I'm on a hashtag always a bright side kind of guy. We've had some teams that say we were, in the fourth quarter, 6 games we were leading in the fourth quarter, and 8 out of 12 games we were, within 1 score in the fourth quarter. You guys won a bunch of close ball games.
Yeah.
You came back against Southern Miss. You came back against South Alabama. You came back against Georgia Southern. I mean, Carter Bradley could barely walk out of Hattiesburg, right? Yam Banks is thrown up on his way to Georgia Southern the day of the game. Tell us about how resilient your team was when it did get down, and even against Troy, you guys didn't give up, and UCLA for that fact of the matter.
Yeah, I think when you really look at our team, the most improvement we probably made from year 1 to year 2, obviously overall depth of our roster, but probably as much anything, we were in those moments in 2021. If you remember, we were in some really close games, but probably didn't operate with the expectation that we were going to be there. Right? I think our expectation rose in 2022. I think we were ready to fight for as long as it took. Some of those games we came up short, but we came on the right side of those games more than we did in year 1.
So are we at that place? Is your team expecting to win compared to believing they can win?
I think we are. I think we're playing with an expectation. I think when you have as many returning starters as we do, and those guys know that, here's some good things that they did, but at the same time, here's some things that and ways that they can improve. I think they're ready to do that.
Tell us how Carter Bradley has looked this spring and heading into the fall compared to where he was last spring.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it's a mad dash to get a quarterback ready out of the transfer portal for year 1, especially the first half of the season. I thought Carter and Major Applewhite did a tremendous job of getting him ready. He executed well early and then consistently throughout the year. what's exciting for him, right, is to now have the continuity of players that he's thrown the ball to, having our offensive line that's probably made the biggest jump over the last 3 years in terms of improvement of our roster. And then, he understands the league on a completely different level than where he did a year ago as well. So I think there's more out there for Carter Bradley, and that's saying something considering what he did in year one.
Can you tell the difference between the Voisin twins, and does he throw it to the wrong one?
I think he did throw one interception this spring.
Really?
So to Jaden Voisin. So maybe it was just a mistaken identity. It wasn't a bad read.
He's Kane Womack, head coach of South Alabama. You guys have an opportunity this season with that schedule. You're at Tulane. 2 weeks after that, you're at Oklahoma State. I know you guys are taking it one game at a time, but the way these things work out, you get a win or two in those two ball games, and then all of a sudden you just win, and the opportunity is there for South Alabama to have a special season.
Yeah. I think, when South Alabama, right, decided they wanted to have a football program, I think it was moments like this that they were hoping for, right? Opening up against Tulane, having one of the best group of five matchups in college football this year going into week one. That's an exciting thing for both fan bases, for players on both sides of the field. And then a really challenging schedule, but great competitors want to have these opportunities, and it's the only way that you build, a great history, right, is if you have opportunities to create history, and that's certainly what we have in this schedule. Is it going to be challenging? 100%, but we also got a group of guys with the experience and the know-how and the talent, I think, to be able to go challenge every opponent that we face when we walk on the field.
Did you watch the New Orleans Bowl, or did you throw that tape away? Could you learn something from watching it?
100%. I think as hard as those moments are, and as difficult as that was to experience, I think when you're building a program, particularly a young one in South Alabama that doesn't have a history and a tradition and a bowl, a ton of bowl opportunities right in our past, you've got to find ways to learn from that. And as hard as it was, there were a lot of things that we learned about ourselves and some things that I think will help us moving forward. And frankly, some things that we have to address because, you put some exposures out there on film that, that other teams are going to try to emulate,
Emulate's a big word on a Tuesday afternoon on SportsChat on 103.3 The GOAT.
But I still got it out there. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, I would be as
well.
At
this point in the day.
Just pointing that out. All right, basically, this is unheard of. You have like 18 out of 22 starters returning, and if you count an injured linebacker who played last year, and if you count an injured safety who had played the last 3 years, that's like 20 of 22. So you don't have a whole lot of work to be done in terms of who's playing where this season. You are replacing one wide receiver and one corner, and a guard is moving over to center. So even that's going to have a little bit of continuity. It's a really different kind of fall camp for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you got to keep the main thing, the things that we've done from a physicality standpoint as a team. We really try to breathe that into our program in terms of how physical we want to play and show up. And some of those things have to happen in fall camp. I think you're able to kind of go into the more nuanced situations that happen because you've got an experienced football team. But ultimately, the exciting thing, and it's a good problem and it's a good challenge to have, is how do we find ways to get these players on the field offensively? How do we get a number of playmakers the ball that maximizes our opportunities to get up and down the field? And then defensively, how do we put our best players and funnel the ball to our best matchups, right? So those are the things that I think will be great challenges and something that our staff is up for.
He is Kane Womack, the head coach of South Alabama, the Ragin Cajuns, traveling to Mobile this year, returning the favor from last season in October. We hope to see you then. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back with Carter Bradley, the quarterback, and the safety Yam Banks from South Alabama. You're listening to a live edition of Sports Chat from Sunbelt Media Days on 103.3 The GOAT.
Pardon us while we butt in with a little common sense. 103.3 The GOAT. The greatest sports talk of all time.
John Wayne Prejean of John Wayne's Body and Paint. We've talked a lot about Nano Ceramic Protect over the past few years, but there's something even more impressive brewing in Scott. It's Nano of Acadiana. Tell me about that.
My same team, same people, same procedures, exceptional service is all led by Mr. Joe Oquin.
And Joe, as impressive as Nano Ceramic Protect products are, the people are even more impressive.
Yes, sir. Me and John Wayne had a bunch of late-night conversations, and many a times I wanted to tell him that I wanted to be a part of that family.
If you're looking to do business with a company that values faith and family and customer service above profit, then you'll want to know Nano of Acadiana and Nano Joe Oquin. Would you give him a call, 445-3660, or you can visit them at 102 Speed Pro Lane in Scott. You can even check them out on Facebook at Nano of Acadiana. Faith, family, customer service, and satisfaction. It's a part of every job they do at Nano of Acadiana.
DQ presents Picture This. Picture your favorite Blizzard treat, but this one is being held by someone very special. RE, our Children's Miracle Network Hospital's champion. Hi! Miracle Treat Day is Thursday, July 27th. $1 or more of each Blizzard treat sold at participating locations benefits your local children's hospital and kids like RE. So treat yourself in the most meaningful way.
Support kids like me on Miracle Treat Day, Thursday, July 27th.
DQ, happy tastes good.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text ROCK to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321321. That's ROCK to 321321.
Don't let someone get your goat. There's plenty to go around for everyone. 103.3 The GOAT, the greatest sports talk of all time.
All right, it's a whole new ball game on 103.3 The GOAT. Now is the time to get your company's message out to Acadiana. We've got the only live and local programming on the morning drive to work with Inside the Huddle and SportsChat with Dave Schultz in the afternoon on the ride home. We're the only place in Acadiana you can hear the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns and the New Orleans Saints football on the radio. Call the hotline, 337-269-1077, 269-1077, or email us at 1033thegoat@gmail.com. For more information to advertise on 103.3 The GOAT, the best sports talk in Acadiana. All right, I've had the pleasure of watching one of these players for the last few years, one of them for one more season. It is Yam Banks, safety from South Alabama, along with the quarterback, Carter Bradley. Good to see you guys. Again, what has Sunbelt Media Days been like for you, Yam? Is this the first time you did it?
Yeah, this is my first time. Yeah, this is my first time.
What's it been like?
It's a great experience. It's a lot of interviews.
Has there been what's been the most obvious question so far? Not to ask that question.
The most obvious is
a repetitive question.
Probably everybody's saying like how I feel about the return to starters and Keith and Q coming back.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I got asked that like every interview.
Oh, okay. All right. Have you have a good answer? Have you changed the answer? Has it been the same answer?
It's kind of been the same. I kind of tweaked it.
You did tweak it?
Every now and then.
Do you ever try to sneak in? Because that Carter Bradley guy's a little sneaky. He'd say something like you're not expecting it. Like he would say something totally not having anything to do with the answer, and just to see if you're paying attention. That's what those quarterbacks do.
Yeah.
All right. So having said that, you guys have a bunch of guys coming back. I mean, you were basically replacing one corner, a really good corner who's now in the NFL. How good can this defense be? Because, last year when it needed to be, the defense was really good.
Yeah, I feel like the defense is going to be even better, having Keith and Q come back. I had to step up and show them how you know, how the other guys on how to be a leader. And now that Keith and Q are back, I feel as it's going to be even more easier for me and the team to just to execute out there.
Now you're talking about Will Fall, the linebacker, and Keith Coleman, the safety. All right, have you ever been to anything? Why don't you explain to people back in Lafayette what that Georgia Southern ball game was like? Because you were not with a traveling party when it went up there on a Friday.
Yeah, it was a tough week for me. You know, everybody that whole week was pretty much had the flu, but I wasn't feeling. I was feeling good the whole week, so I practiced until like the day before the game. I was feeling bad, so I had told the trainers. I said, I don't know what's going on. So they told me I had the flu, you know. So I had to sit at home, and then the doctor was telling me that I probably couldn't play, or I could come back Monday. And I was telling him I had a game tomorrow, so I'm trying to play.
Right.
And so he gave me some medicine. I took my medicine, you know. I took a lot of fluids. I made sure I drank a lot of fluids, orange juice. I made sure I eat. And then while making them, they said if I feel good, I can get on the plane. So I got on the plane, and then, you know, when I got there, they had got me with the IV, and then I was ready to play then.
Right.
Yeah.
And you show up, and Bradley just decides to throw a pick six to begin the game. I mean, what's up with that? Just you know what? He was testing you. He's like, see if you think you're Mr. Tough Guy. Let's put you in the hole 7-0 before you even get on the field.
Yeah, it's tough. It's all good though, you know. You know, we were going to execute anyway. You know, it's our defense. You know, we're pretty good.
What turned that game around, though, was a fake punt to the tight end. Todd, the Jet Justice. Mm-hmm. All right, when can we get you on a fake punt?
I don't know when they're going to do it, but I doubt they'll ever put me on that type of
well, because it would be obvious they're going to hand it off to you, pass to you. Yeah.
It'll probably be too obvious, you know.
All right, let's go. Let's go to Carter Bradley, the quarterback for South Alabama. How did you get better last year? Because as Ken Womack said, you know, it's trial by fire. You're learning a whole new offense. You're learning new guys. You don't know anybody here. You may know Kane, but that's about it. You know, how long did it take you to get comfortable in the offense?
Yeah, it took me a little bit. I mean, I look at just the games. I feel like, you know, I didn't really get comfortable until about like week 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Honestly, like after that Lafayette game, I kind of started to settle into some things. Georgia Southern was rough. I mean, just like you said, 17 out of the 22 guys had the flu, and I was one of those guys. So, that was the biggest thing, is just getting comfortable fast in games, and trying to be as comfortable as I could, you know, throughout the season with Coach Applewhite, and, you know, what the game plan was and why he was calling it. But, you know, going back throughout the season or in the off season, looking at the season, you know, I got a better understanding on why he was calling things, you know, situationally, stuff like that. So I feel like improving my game from a, you know, mental standpoint on why we do things, you know, just play action stuff, cleaning that up, I think little details, and then watching, you know, Peyton Manning and, you know, Phillip and Aaron Rodgers, and seeing how, you know, important play fakes are, and making a run look like a pass and a pass look like a run was a big thing this offseason.
Talking to Carter Bradley and Yan Banks on a Tuesday afternoon Sports Chat, 103.3 The GOAT. We do have the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns coming up here in a few minutes. All right, about that Georgia Southern ball game, like you said, everyone had the flu, and yet you ended it. I mean, your arm must have not been sore at all, because all you were doing was handing it off to LaDainian Webb. It's like everybody knew what the play was coming. They can't hand it off to LaDainian again. They can't hand it off to LaDainian again. And that's all you did. And he got like 247 yards.
Yeah. I mean, that's 3, though. I mean, like, he's unbelievable. Shout out to the O-line. Shout out to the guys up front. Perimeter blockers, too. But, yeah, I mean, that was probably, you know, I said earlier, that was probably one of the coolest games for me to watch from, you know, front stage, like front and center.
He didn't do anything in the fourth quarter.
I just handed the ball off. It was unbelievable. I felt great getting back on the bus.
I'm sure.
You know, just need some a couple bags of IV, but I was good.
Compared to the Southern Miss game.
Yeah,
I think you got the win and maybe the appendix knocked out of him.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the last ball game, because you've decided to remake your body. You've added a couple of pounds. You took a little bit of a beating against Western Kentucky. How is it? I mean, you throw the ball. You have an NFL arm. Anybody who's seen you knows that. So how has the extra weight helped you so far?
Yeah, honestly, you know, I thought it was going to be maybe a little bit of a challenge of getting my feet under me, and seeing how I would run. But honestly, it's been awesome. This summer, Coach Shadid's done an unbelievable job at getting my feet smooth, and that was the biggest thing, is just seeing how my feet would move and how I'd move in the pocket and out of the pocket. And I feel good right now. I'm sitting at 223, like we've talked about.
Right.
And, yeah, I feel good. I'm ready to go.
All right, you're ready to go. You guys have some big ball games right at the beginning of the season. There's no, we get a warm-up game or anything like that. You're at Tulane. They're coming off a win against USC in the bowl game. They do have to replace Tajay Spears, but Michael Pratt, along with you, on that list of incredible 20 senior quarterbacks this year. And then 2 weeks later, you go into Oklahoma State. I mean, I know you guys are going to tell me you're taking it one at a time, but big picture, you guys have a real opportunity to do something special this year.
Yeah, and what an opportunity at that, going to start at Tulane.
Right.
With, the incredible season that they had. And, it's just two, really good teams, really competitive teams coming together week one. And we get to see where we're at, and where we're at mentally week one. And, kind of set the tone for the year.
Did you ever think you'd end up at South Alabama, and how much fun are you having?
I didn't even know if I was going to play football again. After Toledo. So, it's a blessing to be here. I mean, the people are unbelievable. I can't thank them enough. And to be around guys like Yam and, other people on that team, it's truly a blessing. Are you a senior? Are you done?
No, not yet.
You got one more year.
I got really 2 more years.
2 more years. He's going to take it. He's going to be Dr. Yam Banks by the time it's up. You're done.
I'm done.
You're done.
I'm done.
You got the Senior Bowl in Mobile.
Yeah.
Any thoughts of that? Have you spoken with Jim Nagy? Because I know he's gone over film with other Ragin Cajuns and other South Alabama Jaguars and other local players to Mobile.
Yeah, I've talked to him, but I'm not really too worried about that. I'm going to let God handle that one. So we'll see where it goes.
If I ask Yam that question, is he going to say the same thing?
He might. I don't know. You might have to ask him.
All right. He is Carter Bradley. He is Yam Banks. They are from South Alabama. I'd like to pat myself on the back because I did not ask Carter Bradley about his father. I told him I wasn't going to ask him about his father. I'm not asking about his father. Not going to ask you about your father. Good luck to your father, and good luck to you, and good luck to you. Thanks, guys. We'll be back after this. We got Mike Desimo and the UL Ragin Cajuns on a Tuesday afternoon Sports Chat, 103.3 The GOAT.
Every piece of land has a story. For the Nelsons, it's cruising around their Montana ranch on a John Deere Gator XUV 835R. With 3,000 acres, there's plenty of work to do.
We're not afraid to jump in and help each other out.
That's how they've kept their ranch going for 5 generations.
It's all about efficiency.
Like teaching visitors to fly fish.
The whole joy with fly fishing is matching the hatch.
Run with us on a Gator XUV 835R and start telling your story. Learn more at johndeere.com/radio.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
The all-new Nissan Ariya is a fully loaded EV. It's brimming with style and power.
Up to 389 horses of it.
Innovation and intelligence.
E-Force all-wheel drive.
It'll pin you to your seat.
Your very plush seat.
The all-new, all-electric Nissan Ariya. E-Force cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. E-Force and 389 horsepower available on Platinum Plus. Nissan calculation using 1-foot rollout testing with long-range battery and E-Force only in sport mode with E-Step off. These results are for comparison only and should not be attempted on public roads. Drive responsibly. See NissanUSA.com for details.
Mess with the goat. You'll get the horns, then the butt. Because that's what goats do. 103.3 The GOAT.
All right, Dave Schultz, back live at Sunbelt Media Days, all powered by Lafayette Roofing and Dwight Andrus Insurance, a division of Hub International. We're now joined by second-year head coach of the UL Ragin Cajuns. He's Mike Desimo. How would you describe the color of that jacket?
Dave, something that a lot of people don't know about me is I'm actually kind of colorblind.
Oh, okay. All right.
So my wife bought it for me. I
don't mind it. It's not exactly Cajun red.
No, it's not vermilion.
No.
I believe it is a shade of red.
Like brick red, maybe?
KC said it was sand.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. Lindsay said that it kind of went together, so we just...
All right, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, just wasn't... usually the Cajun red that you're kind of wearing.
Right, that's maybe a little bright for me,
Okay.
but we'll, made it work.
All right. Always good that the head coach blames his sport jacket on his wife. It's well done. It's a good job well done there, Coach. All right. Tell us about last season. Up and down year. I know it ended with a loss, but you guys battled back and made your way to postseason.
Yeah, ultimately, we're always going to be measured on wins and losses. I mean, that's the nature of what this is, and I'm fully aware of that.
Sure.
But our season last year, there was a lot of things to be proud of in there. A group of guys that really hadn't experienced much loss as a team in college football, to go on a 3-game skid there early and really not play very well. And then, you play South Al and you play pretty good, but
played really well.
You end up losing to a team that, they pull it out in the last second.
I mean, they basically made one more play than you did.
They did.
That was it.
They did. And, you kind of had a crossroads as a team, and I was proud of our team and the way they rallied. And, we started playing pretty good football, towards the end of the year there. Certainly a little bit later than what we wanted, but there's a lot of things to be proud of from there. Certainly those are things that we've got to build off of. There were some good moments in that season, and you see what we're capable of. We got to do it consistently, and this as well as anybody. The success, right, the wins and the coming up short, the losses, it always comes down to these one-possession games.
It seems to, yes. And you had a handful of them last year.
We did, and we came up short in all of them.
Right.
Before that, the year before, you go 7-0 in those games,
right.
and you have a great year, which is that's what football is. But that's kind of the difference, and we as coaches have had to go back and look and say, okay, what can we do better in these situations to get a couple more points here and there, one more stop there, and we got to use our players and put them in position to where they can go out there and do what they do well. And our players need to rely on the experiences that they got last year to go out there and be confident in those situations. So it's, it takes everybody to make this work, and it has to start with us as coaching staff being critical of ourselves and finding ways to put our guys in better situations. But, you go back to last year in our division, Troy, 6-1 maybe in one possession games. I think South Al was maybe 5-1 in one possession games. That's the difference, right? Or close to that.
Right.
And that's the difference in this league right now. So we've got to do a better job in certain areas, particularly scoring touchdowns in the red zone offensively. And defense, when you have a chance to put a cork in the bottle at the end of the game, you got to go make a play or two and got to go do it. So that's kind of where our big focus was the offseason.
So we're talking with Mike Desimo, head coach of the UL Ragin Cajuns. All right, so everyone always focuses on the end, right? Let's talk about the South Alabama ball game, right? Jalen Wayne makes a ridiculous catch, He's running one way, the ball's going the other, and he reaches back and makes a ridiculous catch, and Guajardo hits a long field goal. But you look back and say, you know what, if we convert that first down in the second quarter, right, and maybe go up 2 scores, who knows what the rest of the game is going to be like compared to all right, well, if we get a stop on the last play of the last drive, we go to overtime. Maybe the game isn't, we all remember when the game is decided, but maybe was really decided. And I'm not specific to that game in the second quarter. I'm just saying games in general where you could take control in the second quarter, and instead of going up by 2 scores, you punt it away and they tie the game up.
You're exactly right.
Hold it. Just quiet. You're exactly right. That's all I heard.
You don't hear that. Not very often.
Not very often, and not from college football head coaches.
Whether you lose by a last-second field goal or you win by 3 touchdowns, there's usually 5, 6, 7 plays in the game that are critical. And you go back to that game, right before half, we have a double move wide open for a touchdown in 2-minute drill. We get beaten a protection. Ben gets hit as he throws. It goes from a touchdown to a pick right before half. We have the ball on the -20. We try to run somebody off. They quit running on the route. The DB turns around, tackles Michael Jefferson, ends up fumbling the ball on the -25-yard line. That turns into points for South Al. In the 2-minute drive, there's a 3rd and 10 that I'm pretty sure they were trying to run the clock and just trying to get out of there. That bust for 20, 25 yards. then the big catch. I mean, that's 4 right there.
Right.
Just off the top of your head that you say those things change the course of the game.
There you go.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
All right, so I presume everyone's asked you, and I'll get in line. You know what? I'm going to ask you a different question. How healthy is Ben Wooldridge?
So, the best news we probably got this summer last week is that Ben's been cleared fully to participate, which, I think that's certainly a testament to him and his desire and work ethic to get back right. It's a nod to our training staff and our doctors and physicians and physical therapists to get a guy 8 months post-op to be ready to go out there and go play. So that's a huge deal for us, and I know we don't live in the worlds of ifs, but had Ben not gotten hurt, we wouldn't be talking about a quarterback battle. We'd be talking about battling for that 2 spot, between 2 really good, productive, talented players. So essentially kind of the plan from the beginning was if Ben is 100% healthy, physically, mentally, ready to go, it's kind of him against everybody else, if that makes any sense. It's not like a true open, let's go throw the ball out there and see who wins it. So for him to be fully cleared is a great thing for us. Now he needs to go out there in pads, and he needs to go stand in that pocket. He needs to go make those plays for himself, for his team, to say, hey, I'm the same guy, better than I was. I'm ready to go. Because what he means to our team as a leader is more than obvious, the way his teammates feel about him and the work that he's done. So I'm just thrilled for him, because the whole time I was he kept telling me, Coach, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back. And it doesn't always work that way, and I was trying to kind of, and here we are, and he did exactly what he said he was going to do. And that's a heck of a feeling for us as a program.
All right, so you have the physical part of it where he's ready. As a quarterback, there's a mental part of it too. He's got, he doesn't have to get awkwardly. He just has to get hit.
That's right.
And he goes down, and he gets back up again. And that's going to take, I presume, more than once. But somewhere along the way, there's going to be that mental hurdle he has to clear as well.
That's exactly right. And, we do organize team activities in the summer. We are not allowed as coaches to be a part of it, really. But he's done really good. Sounds like from talking to him, talking to our trainers, really other players, he's done that part of it really good. Now we got to get the pads on. We got to get the bodies flying around. He's got to stand in that pocket. He's got to deliver, and he's got to be comfortable in that setting. So that's what I'm excited for. Excited for him to get to do it. And certainly for us as a team, that's it's something we're all looking forward to seeing him back out there and playing his game.
All right, we're talking with Mike Desimo, head coach of the UL Ragin Cajuns. One of the big improvements that's expected is the offensive line. Tell us about the O-line.
It's when you lose what you lost from that 21 team, an NFL draft pick, an All-American, a 4-year starting senior, a handful of guys that had played a lot of plays. It's hard in 1 year to really replace that. And for us, last year, we knew last year was going to be difficult, and we knew we were going to be thin in that position. We felt like we had players that could play effective football and winning football for us. We didn't have a whole lot of continuity up front, though. When we went into fall camp, 4 of our starters were coming off of off-season surgery, including the backup center. So you didn't have a lot of time together to mesh and to gel. This year we've been able to stay healthy. Last year, truthfully, when we were going into a game, we were trying to find 7 that we felt were healthy that could go out there and play winning football. This year, you feel like you've got a true 2 deep, maybe 11, 12, or 13 that you're trying to get there. So I knew the approach we took last year was maybe more of a long-term approach to where this year would be better and next year and the year after that. But I still feel I know that was the right decision for us. That group battled last year. They got better, and Coach Nord and Coach Ross have done a phenomenal job developing these young guys, and they're getting a position where, they are going to be the players we thought they were. They've worked really hard to get themselves in position, and, now you feel totally different than you did a year ago sitting right here going in the season.
All right, a couple more minutes here with Ragin Cajuns head coach Mike Desimo. I had a minor league baseball manager who's like the 4th outfielder with the Cardinals coming up with guys like Ray Langford and Bernard Gilkey. They were the they were the athlete baseball players, but he could hit the junk, right? So he could always play. Worked his way to be a manager, and the first time he managed, it was in the Arizona League, and before he blinked, it was the 6th inning. And nobody's watching, and nobody cares, all right? You have it a little bit different. Was there a time that it slowed down for you last year? I know you have head coaching experience before, but not at the college level. Was there a time, I mean, what did the first game feel like? Was it, did you blink and it was like 5 minutes to go in the 4th?
You know, oddly enough, the season was what felt normal. You know, when we got to training camp is whenever it finally felt normal. It was about football, and that was what it was about. But you know, Dave, I mean, you go back, we play the conference championship. I get named the head coach the next day.
Right.
We have to go on the road the next day recruiting, and we have to get the staff and the plan together to go do that. Well, you don't know who's leaving on staff, who's staying. You have a bowl game in 2 weeks. You have finals coming up with our team where a lot of our support staff is gone. You're pulled in so many directions. The New Orleans Bowl was an absolute blur. That whole process leading up to that was an absolute blur. Then you finish the New Orleans Bowl, and then it's transfer portal season, right?
By the way, that New Orleans Bowl was a Levi Lewis special. It was like deep ball after deep ball after deep ball. Marshall got Levi Lewis in that game.
Levi Lewis was not going to lose that football game.
It was just throwing it over the top.
His last game as a Ragin Cajun, and I told him before the game, I said, you're going to take control of this game with your legs, with your arm. I said, you're going to go do this thing. And he did.
He did.
So, like, that was a blur. Then you get into the offseason, and it's, you know, management and all those things you're dealing with. And then it just rolls straight into spring ball. And the whole time you're just, you're hiring people. You're trying to get people in the right positions. It wasn't until we got to fall camp where it kind of felt like, all right, this is football. Everything's in place. Let's go practice. Let's go coach it. Let's go play. And that was where it really started to feel pretty normal. But some of the things that in the off season that I'd have liked to have done, it was too late,
Right.
And I think it took us into this year to make those changes and do those things. And you see the benefits of the changes that we've made right now.
All right, I'm going to wait until camp opens up to ask who your starting quarterback is officially, even though I guess you may have already answered it. Well, right here and there.
Hopefully, hopefully we can go through this thing and we can feel really good about where we're at within a week or something like that at camp. But you got to let the thing play out and you got to see where it goes. But the good news is that you've got 3 kids that our team believes in, that our staff believes in, that I believe in, and no matter what happens, I know at that position we'll have someone that can go win football games for us.
He's Mike Desimo, head coach of the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns. We will be back with tight end Neil Johnson and Casey Osai after this. Thanks for hopping on, Coach.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, we'll be back after this. You're listening to a Tuesday afternoon sports chat on 103.3 The GOAT.
At Lofton, we're in the business of matching hard workers with some of the most sought-after employers in the Lafayette area. To Lofton, you're more than just another employee. We care about your interests, and we can help match you with a company that needs your skills. You can complete an application, schedule an interview, and even browse jobs by simply going to lofton.jobs. That's lofton.jobs. We also offer an unlimited $100 referral bonus. At Lofton, we put people to work. Lofton.jobs.
Hey, it's me, Ruthie, from Total Wine & More. Our new lower prices on hundreds of wines are here to stay. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, be 21.
103.3 The GOAT.
Yeah, that's the one.
K277DQ Lafayette, 1420 KPEL Lafayette. Thirsty for intelligent sports talk? Sounds like you need a little Gatorade. 103.3 The GOAT. The greatest sports talk of all time.
The rumors are true.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, I'm thinking I'm back.
Dave Schultz and SportsChat are back.
I'm back, baby! I'm back!
One change, though.
I'm sorry, that deal's now off the table.
What?
We live in a different world than we did just 30 seconds ago.
Instead of waking you up, he's taking you home from work.
Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch? I'd like that.
Talking Cajuns, Tigers, Saints, all of it.
I
Father.
Buckle up, Acadiana.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
It's time for Sports Chat with Dave Schultz on 103.3 The GOAT.
Dave Schultz back live at Sunbelt Media Days on a Tuesday afternoon Sports Chat 103.3 The GOAT. We are powered by Lafayette Roofing and Dwight Andrus Insurance, a division of Hub International. We are joined by the two UL Ragin Cajuns that are with us. They are Neil Johnson, the tight end out of Mesquite, Texas. Casey Osai out of Conroe, Texas, the junior linebacker. Neil, we're going to become good friends because the tight end is obviously the most important position on the football field.
Yes, sir.
The linebackers, I mean, you don't even know if they're there. You can't win if you don't have a good tight end. You are the leading returning receiver on this team.
Yes, sir.
What can the Cajuns do to be more consistently explosive offensively?
Ooh, what can we do? I feel
outside of throw it to you more.
Yeah. That's one of those things. But I feel like it's just the small things and the details, and make sure we locked in, make sure we're executing the game plan to the fullest at all times, and make sure we do whatever